Hi, welcome. In this video, I want to respond once again to some of these anti-Christian, anti-dog trainers out there. And again, the recent title that Murdoch put forward, which really shows that he's one of these individuals, is at the end of it, he put it in captions like "Hail Satan," talking about he's thankful for his enemies. And, I talk about how everything has a spiritual aspect to it. And it's interesting that these trainers seem to be overly focused on bringing this narrative in terms of this anti-God, railing against God. These individuals who are clearly, angry, hostile to anybody who believes in Jesus, God, and they want to make a point of it all over their videos. And when really, again, what I'm talking about here, I put a very specific information, regarding the source of the problem. It's information based, so there's no need to bring these narratives in or to come off that way. But see, that's what I'm talking about. These trainers, almost like they can't help themselves. They want to go on this whole mocking and scoffing. But that's the state of the dog training world. I just find it very interesting because, like I said, if you don't worship God, don't believe in God, you're going to worship something. Yourself, right? Just follow the money. Follow where you invest your time, what you talk about the most, right? Idolatry. And I talk about what this is interesting. I talk about what this ideology represents. It's a type of self-worship, is what it is. And you talk about the arrogance because at the root of all sin is pride, right? I mean, that's really what it is. But this thing about, again, when I talk about dogs, don't get me wrong, dogs are fantastic. Dogs share an amazing connection with us, but it's, you get the order right here. Again, I'm talking about my, Christian walk. It's God first, right? Your spouse, then your kids, right? And then, animals, right? But the problem here is people have the order all mixed up, right? Because a lot of them don't believe in God anyway. So it's it's all about self, right? God, and animals become an extension of that, self-worship. And it's idolatry is what it is. So that's why dogs get devalued so quickly by people who, don't want to get the order right, don't want to advocate their role properly, don't want to connect the right way. So then, dogs are left holding the bag, or they'll even put their animals above their spouse and, everything. But they're really what they're doing is with the dogs, they're putting themselves above everything else. Dogs are still devalued, right? In fact, interesting, the book I'm going to be releasing here, I intend to release it this year, gets into some of the stuff, about this whole problem. It's because it is spiritual, but all to say that I find it very interesting. These trainers say, you see guys like Heinz, same thing. I've encountered outright, and they admit, like, one of the top clicker people out there, she put out a video about she's a Wiccan. She's a witch. That's her belief system. And some of these other people I've encountered are outright Satan worshipers. So it's nothing to mess around with, right? But that's interesting because a lot of them are like, that's what it is. It's a type of worship. They're worshiping something. So, but here's the thing: these people that outright worship, right, Satan, and they're Wiccans and all this stuff, that's okay, right? They promote that and admit that that's what they do. But if you're a Christian, right, now it's a problem. Interesting, just very, very interesting how this stuff all lines up, how it all works with these individuals. So all to say that, I'm very much about my faith, about my walk, but again, it comes down to the information, But don't be deceived here. This all has a spiritual aspect. I talk about this is a type of stronghold, by way, again, of what this idea represents. It's an identity crisis. You know, you wonder why people put dogs above everything. Well, it's really dogs an extension of themselves, not in a good way. Okay, so they're really putting themselves above everybody. And what's, you know, dog spelled backwards with a small g? God. Thanks for watching.